Hi, I'm Dr. Kit Weathers, and it's time for the Root Tip of the Week. Hi, I'm Dr. Kit Weathers, and once again, it's time for the Root Tip of the Week. Now, I know you've all heard the expression, if I could just get one pearl out of any presentation I go to, it makes everything worthwhile. Well, I think you're getting cheated if you just get one pearl, so in the next 3 or 4 minutes, I'm going to give you 6 solutions for having a painless experience in endodontics. But first, the magic trick of the week. Last week, I showed you how to take a table napkin and just by flicking it in the air a few times and holding on to the end of it, I showed you how you could tie a knot right into that napkin. Well, I'm going to show you something a little different this time. And today I'm going to take this table napkin, open it up, and we're going to just shake it into one cylinder here and then tie a knot into that cylinder and place it on my shoulder so it doesn't disappear. Then I'll borrow a quarter from somebody, almost dropped it, and we'll make it vanish by one of 1,000 different ways. Right now I'll just do the French drop. Boom! Quarter's gone. Where did it go? Give this over to the person who's sitting at the table with you. When they open it up, inside this tied knot, they will find their quarter right there. Now it looked a little clumsy when I did it, but remember that the person you're doing this for is going to open this up and find the quarter. To learn the secret to this and other magic tricks in this series, go to EndoRootCamp.com. Now something neat just occurred to me as I was preparing this trick. What if you were getting ready to propose to the love of your life and you said, honey, let me show you something right here. I would like to consider tying a knot with you. And then when she opened the knot, inside this really tight tied knot, she happened to find something that was really special. Let me see if I can get it out here without dropping it. Here we go. There is an engagement ring. Well, I certainly hope you enjoyed the magic trick of the week, especially that little part at the end that just came to me in a flash on how you could present your fiancé or fiancé-to-be with a wedding ring and tie the knot right in the napkin. I thought that was pretty clever, even if I do say so myself. We're going to continue now with part 2 of 6 simple solutions for painless endodontics. Everybody makes jokes about how painful endo is, and we want you to be known as the painless endodontist. Now, last week we covered total and profound anesthesia, psychology of pain, and the fact that people perceive the amount of pain based on expectations. And we talked about how you should obtain your working length after initial crown down preparation, which is a bit counterintuitive for a lot of people, but this just means that you're absolutely going to straighten out the canal a little bit no matter what you do, and you might as well be aware of that and do your measurement for working length at the very last. Then we started by talking about the 4th secret, and that is the crown down tapered preparation. We explained a lot about it, how you now have tapered files which allow you to make your tapered preparations automatically, unlike the step back preparations that we had to do years ago, but we did not really get into my preparation technique. Now, there's no time on this video to do that, but I want to give you the 30-second Cliff Notes version, and then we've got a few more pearls before we finish up with the 6 simple steps for painless anesthesia. Here's just a quick visual outline of what my preparation looks like. I start out with a large tapered instrument, an 06 tapered file, which is a 25 at the tip, and it's 17 millimeters long. It goes down in the canal, and of course this is an exaggeration. They're not really that wide, but I want you to get a feel for the wide taper versus the narrow taper, and the fact that we go back and forth between the two in order to minimize stress on the files. So we start out by preparing the upper maybe third of the canal just with this wide open tapered burr, which allows you to do basically the same thing that a piezo or a Gates Glidden would do. Then we follow that with an O2 tapered instrument just to go down and prepare the apex to a size 15, a size 20, and a size 25. And all these are 25 at the tip. Now we have a preparation that's 25 at the apex, so the next thing we're going to do is go down and with a series of 4 files, we're going to create a taper with 4 files that all have a taper of tip size of 25, and there's an 03, 04, 05, and 06 taper. And when we're done with that, we've got this beautiful tapered preparation. And the next thing we're going to do is go back to the 02 tapered instruments again. The number 9 in our system is a 35, that goes to working length, and the number 10 is a 40, also to working length. Basically, I started out with a wide taper. I went with narrow files to just go to the apex a little bit. Then I did the flare, did the apex last, so what used to be the hardest part of the entire preparation became the easiest by saving it to last. Now let's move on to the next step, which will be number 5, trust your apex locator. The apex is not the anatomical apex. That's not what we're going to measure, because many times, in fact more often than not, the canal exits short of the radiographic apex. Now we don't want to stop where it says apex, because that means the file is actually touching the periodontal ligament. That's how it measures apex. So we're going to subtract 1 millimeter, which will bring us back to the narrowest part of the canal, and that's the point where we want to prepare with our files and with our gutta percha. And most of this last little ½ millimeter to a millimeter will be sealer, and I think that that gives us a better finish, a positive stop, and works out really well. And please, please, please trust your apex locator. Now this is the apex locator from Miltex. It's the Mark 6. They now have a Mark 7, and if you look real closely at it, you begin going down the canal and all these lights come on one by one. The only one that you really care about is the apex, and that's the red light. When you see the red light come on, that's apex, subtract 1 millimeter. They should write that right on here, but unfortunately I can't get the company to do that. Number 6. I used to say that the sonic handpiece was a nice adjunct for all rotary file techniques. I now believe that it's an absolute necessity to do a beautiful job of irrigating and preparing the canal. If you ever get a file that doesn't go all the way down, pick up the sonic handpiece, run it for about 30 seconds, and all I use is the 15 Shaper Sonic file. You don't need any other sizes, and it works absolutely fantastic. Well, I hope you can find one or more of the 6 solutions that we just described that will help you maintain your status of being a painless dentist. And I know we went through these rather quickly, but if you go back and look at some of the old root tips of the week, we've discussed all of these in detail in the past. And I hope you enjoyed getting these pearls, and I'll see you next week. I'm Dr. Kit Weathers, inviting you to join me at our very next root camp. So long for now.